Let's look at copper. So copper is intrinsically linked to Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love and beauty. Now I'll say she's not just the goddess of love and beauty, she's the goddess of fertility, but she's also the goddess of war, because she links to all these other goddesses, and the Queen of Heaven, that's what she's the boss of, right? So, but I want to talk about copper briefly because that is Aphrodite's metal. And when we're looking at Aphrodite on a Liberty copper coin here, you are seeing, just like in the classic art of Aphrodite, standing on the clam coming out of the sea, you are seeing the pearl of great price. Why do I say this? Well, because in the Bible, there is a pearl of great price, and I believe it's Aphrodite, which is Jesus. So, now am I going to sit here and say that Jesus is my pearl of great price? No. I would have said that a number of years ago when I was a fundamentalist Christian, but I am no longer. I see this entity as completely selfish. Basically, I see it, I think it's an artificial intelligence that basically just wants our energy. And it's willing to take it in all different types of ways. It's willing to take it through your love, but it's also willing to take it through your pain and suffering. So it kind of operates through both methods, and it kind of wears two faces. And one of the faces here it wears is Jesus, which is one of the really nice faces that it wears. But the pearl of great price says that the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant seeking beautiful pearls who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. So it's marketing to you that Jesus is the pearl of great price. The Mormons, I think they wrote a book titled "The Pearl of Great Price," even though I've never been a Mormon. So you can see though, it's really, it looks like Aphrodite is a pearl coming out of a clam, and no surprise because I already know it's all the same entity. And going back to that copper though, so we have in the Bible a bronze serpent. So I'll just read it. Then the people came to Moses and said, "We have sinned by speaking against the Lord and against you. Intercede with the Lord so he will take the snakes away from us." Well, why why does some Lord just don't why does the Lord need somebody to come up first of all and be like, "Hey, do you mind taking them snakes away from biting my friends?" Why can't the Lord just do that? Isn't it a nice Lord, or is it just have like a sick sense of humor or what? So then Moses interceded for the people and said, then the Lord said to Moses, "Make a fiery serpent and mount it on a pole. When anyone who is bitten looks at it, he will live." So it's like, okay, well, we'll make a fiery serpent and we'll mount it on a pole, and it'll be a bronze snake on a pole, which is crazy. But okay, so here's the bronze snake on a pole. Well, the copper on a pole, this is a precursor to Jesus on the cross, as we all know, because in John 3:14, which 3.14 is pi, John 3:14, just as Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness, so the Son of Man must be lifted up. Okay, so if the Son of Man is lifted up on the cross, then Aphrodite is lifted up on the pole, which is Jesus, which is the same character, same story. Now, let's talk about the maypole. So in May, there's this ritual to put up this pole where they celebrate the May Queen, right? And it has to do with fertility. And here's the May Queen. She wears that headdress, just like I pointed out in a previous video with Inanna. There's the headdress. And I believe this all goes back to Venus, guys, because the bright morning star is Jesus in the Bible, it says, and it also says the bright morning star is Lucifer. So we've got Aphrodite who is playing this role as well, and it all just points to Venus. And Venus has an astrological logo here that looks very similar to the ankh symbol from Egypt. And so they look pretty much identical. And what I also find interesting about that ankh is you have the eye of Ra, the eye of Horus, and then in the middle it loops. So a case could be made that it's the right eye, the left eye, and then the third eye in the middle, or that this Trinity, and I made a video before, and I never mentioned this, called Trinity Time Lords, that the Trinity is actually the right eye, the left eye, and the third eye, or the sun, the moon, and Venus. Okay? But anyway, you've got the ankh here that looks just like the Venus astrology symbol, and part of that ankh is the horus, which again has the same story, guys, as Jesus Christ. Born of a virgin, born on December 25th, star in the east. Well, we know what the star in the east is. That's Venus. 12 disciples, perform miracles, dead for 3 days, resurrected. The same story as Horus, Mithra, Krishna, Dionysus, turning water into wine, all kinds of stuff. It's all the same. So, the star Venus has a lot of power, and I'm seeing it harnessing the number 5 because it makes that 5 shape, or the flower pattern, which again, going back to fertility, going back to that May Queen, all the flowers, Easter, flowers, fertility, eggs, it's all connected. So we've got the 5, the roses, we've got the rosy cross, we've got the Mother Mary with roses. Roses are interconnected in this whole thing as well. But it also harnesses the power of 6, because we've seen how this is used with the 6-pointed star. We also know that it's very powerful with the number 7, because Venus anagrammed is 7. And then Inanna's, or Ishtar, you could say either one really, has this 8-pointed star. So it's really just seemed to use a lot of different ways to communicate. And really, this is a very primary energy that we're dealing with. And I'm putting this out there because I think we need to all make these connections more. People need to ask more questions about these subjects, because they're giving their life, they're giving over their sovereignty, they're giving their money at churches, and they don't even know what the hell they're doing. They have no idea that when they're praying, which makes them pray, they're giving their energy away, and they're giving their sovereignty away to this entity that's outside themselves. They have no idea that it's connected to all these other names of the same energy, and I think if they knew that, they might start to question whether it's a good idea to be giving their life over and their soul and their energy and praying to this energy constantly that evidently needs to be worshipped. So just a lot of things to think about here, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.